Hello and welcome. This is Tanya Brown, your spiritual business coach, and today I want to talk to you about how to set boundaries in business and life with ease. Now, before I get started, I want to ask you a favor. Please don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe because this really helps my algorithm. And don't forget to comment because it helps to get my algorithm up there so other people see my videos. So if you find this videos helpful, I'd appreciate you doing that. And that being said, thank you, and let's get started. So here's the thing. I love talking about boundaries because I believe in protecting oneself and being able to teach people how to treat you. I know a friend of mine said this to me years ago, and I thought, how am I teaching people how to treat you? But it's true. When you show people what you will not put up with, what you will not accept, people understand how to deal with you. And this is, again, in business and in life. And I'll never forget, I was working at a company. This is a while ago. And I would literally, the first thing I would do is check my emails the minute my eyes opened. I would be in the shower thinking about, the problems from yesterday and anticipating problems today. I would be on email before I even got on the bus to start my commute. I would be so incredibly stressed out. And I remembered once I had an off day. It was a death in the family. And I had said to a coworker at the time, like, this is happening, blah, blah, blah. And she contacted our resources and said, oh, by the way, Tanya is having some family issues right now, so please don't bother her past 11 p.m. her time. And I remember thinking to myself, in one respect, she's trying to help me. But the point was, and a friend of mine pointed out to me when I was sharing the story just in context, he was like, you teach people how to treat you. And I said to him, like, what do you mean teach? Like I was hired for the job. They told me what the job was. How do I teach people how to treat me? And he was like, no. You, from day one, you show people what you will and will not put up with. And in this respect, I looked back and I was like, yeah, I just sucked it up. But I was raised to work hard. If your job is 9 to 5, work eight to, like, work harder, be better. I did more than was expected, so they constantly gave me more. But in constantly giving me more, they just ignored my boundaries. But I allowed them to because I constantly said, let them give me more. And I remember going to another company because I literally got burnt out. Like if I called in sick, I did more work working from home than I would have in the office. It was insane, to the point that I'm like, I'm sick and I'm doing all this. How am I getting myself better? But I remember working at a different company, and before I came in, I had different attitude. Like I literally thought to myself, yeah, you need to teach them how to treat you. But by doing that, and I went in from full-time to freelancing. And in freelancing, you are not subject to the company. Like you are a outside contractor. So they can't say, oh, she's going to be here. They need to ask you to be there. They have to agree to your rates. And I'll never forget, at the time, they were bi-coastal. The company was bi-coastal. They had extra offices all over. But they wanted me to attend a certain meeting because they needed my expertise. I like saying that, my expertise. But seriously, they needed my expertise. And at the time, we were negotiating, and I remembered, I thinking to myself, I could ask for this. But it was just like, you know what? This experience really would be something that I would enjoy. So, you know what? I'm going to ask for this. And I did, and I had the most amazing time. But the thing was, they were always within my boundaries because I put it out there. I was very much like, yeah, this is how I work. And case in point, when I went from freelancing to working full time, I worked within the boundaries of what made me comfortable. My job started at a certain time. I came in a little earlier because for me, I liked not just diving in quickly. I liked easing in, having my coffee, organizing my day. You know what? Sometimes you can't do that, but I try to like start off on as a more even keel momentum. But I always left on time. I didn't leave early. I left on time. I did not work late hours. And I'll never forget one time the one of the VPs, we were going back and forth on something, and she emailed me after the time. She, oh yeah, you leave at this time, and it's like, yeah, because I trained her, and that sounds very condescending, because you're like, you train your dog, you train your puppy. I don't mean that in that respect, but it's like giving people guidelines on what they can expect from you. You wouldn't go to the butcher to get milk. So it's about letting them know what you will do and what is not your responsibility. And that's when it comes to creating boundaries, and you could do things and say, this is really not my responsibility, but, I'll help you out, and then they realize, oh, gosh, she's so helpful. She's so supportive. I love working with her. But it's about creating your boundaries. But again, knowing what you will not tolerate and what your triggers are. There's certain things that, and this actually happened to me in the work world, and this was just, I don't think I've ever said this before, but this was really uncomfortable. And I had never experienced it before, but I ended up sharing. Company I was working at, and the gal was, she was friendly, but she was touchy-feely. And I'll never forget, she would, like, one week, I was like, why is she always touching me? And I don't mean that, like, I don't touch strangers. I don't even touch my friends. Yes, hug, I mean, oh, that's pretty, whatever. But I'm not, like, and she was always, like, petting me. Like, oh, what are you using in your hair? Like, is that, like, one time she was like, what is that? Like, is that, and I was like, okay, that's odd. But I was in a meeting, and she literally was sitting down, and she put her hand on my stomach. And I was just like, what is she doing? What is happening? And I did not say anything because I was just shocked, stunned. And again, it was a woman. And then the next day, I walked into the office, and she tapped me on the butt, and it was a trigger. And I just messaged her. I'm a wimp, but I messaged her and I said, look, you got to stop touching me. I didn't go to human resources, but I just said, you got to stop touching me. You tapped me on the butt. Yesterday, you were holding my waist for an uncomfortable amount of time. You're always touching my hair. Like, you got to stop touching me. It's not appropriate. It's uncomfortable. And she literally was offended. And I didn't care because she offended me with her actions. But the fact that I put it out there, she didn't appreciate it, but it stopped. But the point is being open about what you will and will not tolerate. I had another instance working in another company where there was a gal who was just incredibly toxic. I've been fortunate enough, I don't know if it's fortunate enough or unfortunate enough, to have worked in companies in which women were the aggressors and men were afraid of them. I found that fascinating from a sociological perspective, but from a human perspective, I thought it sucked. Nobody should be afraid of anybody. But that being said, the woman in question at one point turned on me. And by turned on me, I mean, like, one morning, I knew how she acted with others, and I kept my distance because, you don't want to play with crazy. And in that instance, she was the crazy. So I had said, one time I came into the office and I was just at the copy machine, and she was having an argument. Like, you're never going to do this, and we're not going to deal with this anymore, and this is how things are going to go. And I'm like, who the hell is she talking to? And it hit me, she's talking to me. And again, I'm just a copy machine, just making a few copies for whatever presentation I'm doing. And she's having this whole diatribe about what she's not going to accept and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just kind of like, you're not speaking to me like that. But I didn't engage with her. She said, well, did you hear what I'm saying? I said, and actually, I'm ignoring you. And she was just so thrown by what I said. And, oh, uh, okay. And she moved on. But it was the point. It was like, yeah, you're not talking to me that way. I don't, I'm not going to engage by getting into nasty words, heated tones, or anything that nature, because that's not who I am. But I'll use my words to let you know, yeah, I'm not accepting that. And to make it even more important, I went over her head to the person who could affect change and complained about her. And they had some words. But the point was, I wasn't going to, and especially this was early in the morning, I wasn't going to allow her to set the tone for my day. So it was about me taking the power back, but I'm giving you these examples of how you can set the tone and take the power back and show people how to treat you. You know, it's about creating a safe space for yourself, whether it's in work, whether it's in life, whether it's in general, knowing that you have the power to create and affect change. I was in, and this just happened this past, God, summer, or I don't remember. I lose track of time with this quarantining coronavirus stuff situation. I don't mean stuff. I'm not trying to diminish what's happening, but with the procedures that were happening around me, I was just trying to adapt and adjust. And I was in the supermarket and it's self-checkout. And I'm trying to use, they went from like the glass binders, glass dividers to self-checkout. And I was like, okay, cool. Just need to figure out how to use this. And as I'm doing something, I'm clearly doing it wrong. So one of the helpers tapped me on the shoulder and to show me. And I was like, don't touch me. And she was offended that I said that. And I didn't mean that in terms of, ooh, I'm so-and-so, you're such and such. No, we're in a time of no contact. We're in this situation with this virus. You don't touch strangers. I'm not going to touch the stranger. Matter of fact, and I've said this, I had this situation happen during this time as I'm focused on walking down the street and staying away from people. I have people who walk towards me. There was one woman, and again, this was not negative intent. She was walking towards me to comment on my sweater. She liked it. And as I'm walking away from her and she's walking close to me to try to compliment me, I'm trying to get away from her. And as we get close enough, she's like, I like your, and I was like, thanks. I'm thinking you could tell me from a distance. But that was her intent. She wasn't trying to be nasty or rude. She just liked my outfit and she wanted to comment. And I appreciate that, but you could have done it from a distance. But again, it's about just your comfort zone and teaching people how to treat you. So again, this is Tanya Brown, your spiritual business coach. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to share this with somebody you feel can benefit from it. And that's it. I look forward to seeing you on my next video. Take care.